Hi Pumeza, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. First things first, who are you, where you from, and what do you do? The last time I asked that question, my guest was like, I don't know where to start. That's too open.
It is. It's very open. Okay, well, I'll try my best. So my name is Pumeza Cingo. I am originally from Elusigisigi, still here in the Eastern Cape. What do I do outside of traveling? I travel for fun, and it's now become sort of part of my side hustle. And I work at a university.
And the reason why we're here is because of your traveling gigs, right? Your
Yes.
traveling interest.
Yes.
Before we go there though, the previous guest left you a question,
Oh.
and he wants to know what makes you wake up in the morning.
Ooh, what makes you wake up in the morning? I want to say coffee. I usually get coffee in bed, so that's what wakes me up, literally.
So tell me about this machine that makes coffee and brings it to you.
My husband makes coffee and brings it to me every morning, so that is
I
how
feel sorry for you.
That's how I wake up every morning. Well, he wakes up earlier than me, so that's his way of waking me up. But what gets me out of bed on a daily basis is I enjoy my job, my regular job. I enjoy that, but also I enjoy being outside. I enjoy learning. So being outside, learning, reading. PE gets very windy sometimes, so on very windy, depressing days, I actually don't like getting out of bed. But on a beautiful day, like this morning was nice, sunny, no wind. I love mornings like that. I wake up, can have coffee outside. Love that. So I love waking up to those mornings. Depressing mornings are quite frequent in PE, so those mornings.
What depresses you?
Not the wind in PE.
You know, everybody talks about the wind here, but I must confess that I think it gets more rainy than it gets windy.
Really?
Yes, it drizzles quite a lot.
I don't mind the drizzle. It's the wind for me. If I wake up in the morning and it's windy, I don't know, it just ruins my mood when I start the day. But obviously, once I'm up, then it's fine. But just the getting up, when I'm getting up and I'm opening the curtains and all I'm seeing is just like leaves going, left and right. And I'm like, ah. But after I get over that, then I'm okay.
Okay, let's pause with the wind. I want to know what makes you so happy about your job. You're an academic. You
Yes.
lecture at the university,
Yes.
and I'm so interested. Why did you go for that stream? You could have done many other things, but why particularly choose
Academia.
I mean, you're also young.
Yeah.
You know, historically, it would be old people that
Go
choose
into academia, yes.
Yes.
I think academia sort of chose me, if I can put it that way, if that makes sense. So when I was in Joburg, I was working as a consultant, an environmental consultant, and I was doing my master's and started my PhD. And after that, I think I enjoyed research. I enjoyed researching my master's a lot, and that made me want to go more into research. And when there was an opening in PE at NMU, then my husband obviously lived in PE. So I wasn't really looking, but he was like, please just put in your application and just see what happens. Because if you go in, then you can move to PE, then we can be in the same city. So that's primarily why I applied for the job at NMU. It wasn't because I was looking for it. I wasn't really looking for it, but I guess my husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, he was looking for something to bring me from Joburg to PE. So I applied for the job. I got in, and what I enjoyed the most about it, even now, I enjoy the transition when your students are coming in, because I deal with first years a lot of the times. So you can see them coming in fresh from high school, and over time, like second semester mostly, so from July upwards, you can see like those light bulb moments. So I love that. I feel like I'm making a difference and I can see the difference. Whereas previously, when I was working as an environmental consultant full time, you don't actually see the difference that you're making. You go on site, do your reports, submit, and that's the end of it. By the time the project starts, you're no longer part of it. So you never even see if that development that you were working on really started. When it finishes, you never even get the reports after that. But with academia, you see the transition even from first year to second year. So if you continue with your students into second year, you can see that they're completely different students. So I feel like you have made a difference, however small. when the students also go into the working industry, in the working environment, you also see that they're completely different students. When we're lucky, when they come back for the postgrad, that's even better because, you know, you have basically taken the student from this level up to that level. So that to me is very gratifying. So that's what I enjoy most about it. The actual work on a daily basis can be very frustrating, but the end product, that I live for that.
I guess the end result is what keeps us in the academy as academics.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day runnings, oh my God, yeah, it's something else. You see, right now, I'm not sure if you see my WhatsApp statuses, but there's this trending kitty cat. I don't know what you call that thing, but it's a... Eddie, what do you call it? Yeah? It's Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty, whatever it is. It's trending apparently. So it's this big kitty. It has a gun in front of the laptop. It's
I saw that. I saw that.
And that's where I am. And each year around this time, I just want nothing to do with work, with my laptop.
Yeah. It's emotional. It's emotionally taxing. The one thing about academia, because you're dealing with people all the time. So dealing with people all the time comes with a lot of energy, with a lot of. It's unlike working, you know, behind a desk, where you just, you know, that's just you and your work. But with academia, you deal with people constantly. So that can be draining. So even I am looking forward to not having to deal with students, to not have to be in meetings, to not have to be in faculty, anything. I'm just looking forward to not have to interact with people because our jobs are basically interactive throughout, and that is emotionally exhausting after a while.
Yeah, and it's not just students, hey? There's other wings of the institution that also drain your energy as well.
Yeah. And those are the least fun.
Yeah, those the students are easy to deal with. Everything else is just like, oh God.
Absolutely.
Those are the things that get you drinking 6 cups of coffee a day, actually.
I've even transitioned now into decaf because of how much coffee I was drinking. I was starting to feel like I'm getting not a heartburn, but I was definitely feeling something because of the amount of coffee I was drinking. I've now switched completely to decaf.
I salute you. You know, an interesting thing happened. My body can no longer take coffee. It can no longer take tea. It can no longer take anything that is warm. I think I've been taking a lot of coffee over the past years, such that my body has just decided to reject it completely.
No, it's bound to happen.
Yeah. Another question. It's not a question actually. It's something I just learned now.
Okay.
You're married?
What do you mean you said that? I'm always wearing a ring. And
Are you serious?
what do you
I've never paid attention.
Yes, Q. I've been married for 2 years.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow, congratulations.
Well, thank you. I guess I've been married for 2 years. Yes.
I
Is it 2 years
honestly
now or
didn't
3
know.
years?
Honestly, didn't
2 or
know.
3 years.
I don't know how you keep that part of your life private because you don't talk about it that much. I think I would do the same.
Yeah, because I think you just need to learn to separate work, life. And I think even with like my travel, a lot of people, they are sometimes shocked that I work at a university, and some people are shocked that I'm married because you have to be very careful with what you share online. But in the working environment, I didn't know that you didn't know because everyone else at work knows. So, but you never say.
What?
Because you're traveling. You're always traveling.
What do you mean I'm traveling?
Even now, where are you going tomorrow? Exactly. So you're traveling.
No, don't make it sound as if I'm not traveling for work.
No, but you are traveling for work. But I'm saying whether you are in Sweden, whether you're in Australia, you're there. So maybe that's how you've missed it. But I believe everyone in the office, everyone knows.
Wow, congratulations, Pumeza.
Thank you.
Or maybe I just joined the department after the hullabaloo about the marriage.
Well, I didn't have a wedding, so there wasn't a hullabaloo. It was just a lobola, and after that we went home affairs.
Who was doing the negotiations? This is interesting for me.
His friends and his brothers.
What?
Yes.
So he wasn't there?
Oh, he was there, but obviously he wasn't allowed.
Hey, my nigga just decides to go to the in-laws and say, hey, I want that girl.
No, No, you can't go. Lobola, people have to negotiate for you. So, he wasn't allowed in.
For context, I'm gonna make this disclaimer. Please allow me. So she's married to a white man. That's why I'm making this joke.
Hey.
But I think you've got a very beautiful relationship. I've seen one or two pictures of you and your partner in some videos that you share.
Yeah.
And which brings me to the question: you travel quite a lot.
I do, yes.
Is he a travel partner?
Yes, for the most part, he is.
Why him?
Why is he my travel partner?
Why not a friend?
Well, financially, it makes sense to travel with him. But then I do travel with friends. So every year I do like one big trip with my friends to Europe. We've done that for the past since 2019. And then every other time, then I will travel with him. So it's easier to travel with him than to travel without him. It's fun to travel with my friends. It's a lot of fun. But I love traveling with him. It's a completely different experience because when I travel with him, I actually relax. I don't have to worry about planning things, choosing where we're eating, worrying about paying this and paying that. So a lot of that is taken care of. But when I'm traveling with my friends, I do the planning. I do the itinerary. I have to check that everything is going well and because I've done that since we started traveling together, that it's become a part of me in a way. And I think even if they don't require it anymore, because now they're also well traveled, but everyone sort of looks to me to say, okay, what's the plan? What are we doing? When are we going here? So I end up creating the groups, holding the account where people are putting money and making all the bookings, which can be a lot of work, especially when you're trying to balance the flights, if there's connecting flights and all of that. And typically that will be for like 6 people. So that's a lot of work. But if I'm traveling with him, it's just us. And it's a lot easier to plan. And my responsibility literally ends when the flights are booked, accommodation is booked, airport transfer is booked, we've got insurance. The minute we hop onto the plane, I'm a passenger princess. Yes.
Pumeza, can I have your life?
Well, train your partner to do the rest, because you have to divide the work, because it's a lot of work, the planning. But then when you get there, it's a lot of work as well. Getting acquainted with the city that you're visiting or the country that you're visiting, getting the right restaurants. And he's very fussy with where he eats. He's very fussy about...
Oh, yes. That's actually one of the areas I wanted to go to, the eating part. Eddie, while we talk about the eating, may we please have those? It's Christmas, by the way. Pumeza, in the spirit of Christmas, can you please put this on? I forgot to ask you earlier. Okay. Please put this on in the spirit of Christmas. Thank you very much. You see, I'm already in my festive mood.
You are.
So, as a pleasure.
After this will also put me in the...
We are doing it for Jesus.
Okay.
Right? And we are also eating. I want to see... I know you don't like sugar.
I don't.
But I want to see how open you are to trying out new things. I know this is not particularly new, but I just want to see how far I can stretch.
Okay.
Take a bite.
Q, I'm going to get you for this.
And unfortunately, you can't do anything because you're alive right now.
I know.
So, have you traveled to any African country? Yes. Do you do African countries? Do you enjoy going to Africa? I know you do a lot of these developed countries, but I want us to start here in Africa. Which country would you say has been your best so far? So the countries that I've visited recently, I've been to Botswana a few times.
How about you? No, Maun. I've been to Maun, I think about 4 times maybe.
Okay.
There's a camp that we visit there. I absolutely love it, but it's very contained. So I wouldn't say I've explored Botswana. I've just been visiting the same camp for the past 4 or 5 years. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I recently went to Egypt.
The pyramids.
And that was a mind-blowing experience. The people were so friendly. And I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting people to be that friendly. People were so... excuse me, people were so friendly and things are very cheap. Obviously, people will try to sell you things for ridiculous prices. So, what advice I would give people if you are going to Egypt, make sure you check the prices before you buy anything, especially if you're going to a restaurant where they don't have a menu with prices. They charge you
Without prices.
without prices, yeah.
Why would they have a menu without prices?
Sometimes they don't even have the menu. They will just tell you what they have and then you order according to that. And if there are no prices, that means that what they're charging you is not what they're charging the locals. And it
Yeah.
happens everywhere.
But I feel that happens everywhere in Africa. I went to malls.
Not to that extent. I mean, I haven't been to Mozambique, but not to that extent. What we felt in Egypt was if you are so for example, you go to a shop where they sell scarves or they sell things that you would want to buy in Egypt, they don't have prices. So it's a constant negotiation of getting the price to the right price actually. So it's easier when you go to a shop and everything is listed. So you know that, okay, this is what this costs and you're buying it, you know exactly what you're buying. But what I didn't like about Egypt was that none of the prices were displayed. So you always knew that you were in a way getting screwed financially with what you were buying. But it's not expensive. It's just their technique makes it feel like they're robbing you in a way. And a lot of people rob people off the wrong way. But besides that, the food in Egypt was amazing. People were amazing. The landscape, the pyramids, the history of
man.
Egypt. The history of Egypt. We went to a place in Abu Simbel with the temples there. Oh, it was just things that you really can't describe in words. The way that Egypt has preserved its history, has preserved its cultural heritage, is something really I think a lot of countries can learn from. They have the mummies dating back to,
So they actually do have mummies.
they have mummies, yes.
So it's not a made up thing because I
No.
always see this. There's even a cartoon. It was called Tattenstein, and it was based on those mummies from Egypt.
Yes.
I thought that was just a fictional thing.
No, it's not. So they have mummies, especially the royal for the royal families, because apparently the process is very expensive to get someone mummified. So the preservation of the body, so that is very expensive to do. So it was mostly done for wealthy people, so you will wealthy merchants, and it was done for the royal households. So there is a museum. It's called the Museum of Civilization. And that museum, you have this section for royal mummies. So you can go see them. You can still see their nails, their hair. You can see the skin. Like it's quite something to see. It's not as scary as you would think when I was going into it. And I went twice because I went my first.
It must have been really fun that you.
It was.
Back.
I went twice.
The
I went.
second
So okay. So the way that my Egyptian experience was structured, I went with my friend. We were going on our way to Greece. So we started in Egypt and we were in Egypt for I think 3 days, and then we carried on to Greece because we were connecting in Egypt. And then my husband then wanted to join me either in Greece or we find another place to go to. So we decided actually let's go to Greece. Sorry, not Greece. Let's go to Egypt because he also thought it would be, because when I told him about everything that we experienced, he thought it would be nice to experience a lot more of Egypt. So then we went to Egypt. The first time around, I limited my trip in Cairo, but the second time around, and Cairo and Giza, second time around, then we explored more of the country.
Interesting.
So then the first few days we were still in Cairo. So I did the pyramids twice. I did the Museum of Civilization twice as well. So because it was so interesting. So that's why I went back. And then we went to see other places as well.
You went to Greece after Egypt. What song were you playing?
So many. So many. We were playing, there's a song called, I think it's Pumeza.
Pumeza.
We were playing that.
Is that a South African song?
It is.
Not
yes.
disappointing.
What do you mean?
I mean, when
you are South African, it's such a flex actually being a South African anywhere you go. Our music it's so catchy. We've even had the 1 year I was in Croatia with my friends. We were sailing. Even now in Greece, we were on a sailing trip. We're sailing and then we're playing music, and then the boat next to us decided to also play music. And you're like, you don't want to start a fight with us with music because you just can't. So then we started having this competition of saying, seeing how many people are going to come to our boat, how many people are going to go to their boat. Essentially, we won because everyone ended up coming to our boat. But we had to be strategic with what we were playing at that time. So we're playing all the bangers that bang internationally.
Yeah.
So we're playing Jerusalem, even playing Kalagata. We were just going for the hardcore South African stuff that has gone viral. But when we travel, I actually always play South African music because it's just so interesting. And people love to hear it as well. So in Greece, we were playing more South African music. We did play, I do have some Caribbean playlist also that I like to play, especially when, the wind is blowing and, there's just that vibe. So I do play Caribbean music as well, but generally, if we're having fun with the music that we're playing, purely South African music. Amapiano never disappoints.
Of course. What's interesting for me is that whenever I visit these African countries, oftentimes when you go to these vibey places, when you go to clubs and all these entertainment areas, they play South African music. Even if you go abroad, by the way, they play South African.
Black coffee is played almost everywhere in Greece. Yeah.
So I was in Senegal, came back last week, and they played the song Jesus Christ. It's one of these old songs, South African song. DJ Cingo. So it's DJ Cingo. So yes,
yes.
I was like, what? Where did they even get this song? And that's a French-speaking country.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks French.
But do you remember when Jerusalem went?
I remember, and everyone was dancing.
People had their dances in various countries. So when people see South Africans, I think it's almost like an expectation that we're going to have such, cool music, and people want to learn their dance routines and all of that. So it's always fun. So we always, I kid you not, we always play South African music.
Oh man. But then you must be open to trying out new music.
We do. Okay, but for me, my playlist is very wide. And my playlist also is curated by iTunes. So I actually don't create my own playlist. So I will go and select like party music. Even now, the Caribbean playlist, that was when I'm going on a sailing trip. So I need like sailing trip type of music. I've got that. I have various type of music. So I listen to all sorts of music.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Do you listen to Dolly Parton?
Yes, I do.
My
mom loves Dolly Parton. That's her. So when I'm at home,
I love your mom. I must meet your mom, and then we're gonna have a Dolly.
My mom
fest.
loves Dolly Parton, so I listen to her, and that's a vibe. So when we're driving, when you're doing road trips with my parents, they always have. So we always say, okay, we're gonna do like everyone in the car will choose a song. We will not have a DJ deciding what everyone listens to. Yeah. So we have to respect everyone's choice. And we've actually ended up enjoying mom's music because mom's is so classic. So classic.
Sorry, I'm no longer interested in you. I want to know your mom's favorite songs by Dolly.
Ah, man.
Please don't say Jolene because that's a depressing song.
It's not though. It's so fun.
Oh no.
It's so fun. I can't remember the song by heart, but she plays all Dolly Partons, and she used to have her CDs when we were growing up. She has
I want to give her a Christmas gift actually.
Oh yeah, she is. That would be lovely.
Does she still have a CD player?
I don't know if she does.
Listen, it's fine.
I don't know if she does.
I'll just put everything on USB, and I'm gonna give it to you.
Oh man, she'll love that because she'll love that because she loves Dolly Parton. So she loves the old style music. So I listen to everything because my niece and my nieces and nephews, they also listen. Like my nephew listens to Mpatang.
What? I know.
Yes.
How old is your niece?
My nephew, he's 20.
Oh no.
20.
He's too young to be listening to Mpatang.
But it's nice.
It's
nice. So he has songs that we don't even know. So you're not open. I'm very open to listening to music. So you are exposing yourself. You're not very open. So I listen. So my nephew listens to. So as I'm saying, if we've got my mom in the car, we've got my nephew, we've got my niece. then you can imagine what's playing. And it needs to be on rotation. So my mom plays her song.
Cocktail of music.
It's a cocktail of music. And then, but it's fun. It keeps everyone awake. No one sleeps because my song is coming after these 3 songs.
But then the moment you play Umpaqanga and there's
then Dolly Parton comes after.
And no, I mean Umpaqanga just absorbs all the sun.
No, it does not. It doesn't. So see, you don't like Umpaqanga.
You know there's a difference between Umpaqanga and Maskandi, right?
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
What's the difference?
Okay, Umpaqanga, I don't know what's in the Kazanjan. But Umaskandi.
Uzwi, Maskandi Umpaqanga.
Who's Zwi? Oh, Shui Nomtekala. Yes, that's Maskandi.
Oh, then Maskandi.
Yeah, Umpaqanga, it's like they play these dry instruments.
No, they're not okay. They're my bad then. My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
I can't stand Umpaqanga.
My bad.
Too much. So I've recently got introduced to Umaskandi, and I am loving it so much.
Yeah, so see, now I thought that was all Maskandi and Umpaqanga. I thought it was the same thing.
I don't know where you still get the term Umpaqanga from.
I don't know, because when we were growing up, my dad used to play it.
Nobody listens to Umpaqanga.
My dad used to play when we were growing up. So I think that's where it comes from. So I just thought, it's a continuation of that. Okay, now I'm educated. So I listened to Maskandi from my nephew. So I listen to like all sorts of music. And if there's a song that I like, then I add it to my playlist.
I can tell you one Maskandi song that you like right now. Ilali lali, ilali lali.
I don't know it.
Even Eddie knows it.
Eddie, do you know it? Oh, see?
He's lying. But yeah, that's one of the trending songs for 2024. A rumor has it's going to be just into 2024.
Okay, well, you've just put me on. I'm going to listen to it.
I'll send it to you.
I'm going to listen to it.
But then when you look at staying in Africa, when you look at the types of food that is offered in different countries, which one would you say is your best and which one is your worst?
I haven't experienced that much with African food outside of South Africa. So in Botswana, their food is very similar to ours.
Okay, before you even answer that, how many African countries have you been to?
I've been to Tanzania, Zanzibar, the island. I've been to Botswana, I've been to Swaziland, I've been to Lesotho, I have been to Ethiopia. I've been to the airport. I haven't been to Ethiopia.
Don't talk about Ethiopia, not right now. It's too soon for me.
I've been to Egypt. What am I missing? I think that's all.
Okay.
So I haven't been to much.
So of all these, which one has the best food for you?
I enjoyed the Egyptian food because it was different. Because it was quite different from what we eat. Not spicy though, but just different foods. Just different foods. The way their meat was cooked was different. What I loved in Botswana was they have this pounded beef, which is something that we don't have. So they've pounded beef, absolutely amazing. They called it seswa. Love it. My husband learned it. He now makes it at home.
That sounds like shawarma.
No, it's like it could be like you could put it in a shawarma, I guess. So it's that's what we loved from Botswana. But so I can't really say, so Egypt was the most different than the others because the others are very close to us. So their food is quite similar to what we eat as well.
Okay. Let's go to where you want us to go, abroad, outside Africa. How many countries? And let's start with the number of countries you've been to so far.
I think 29. 29 countries.
Outside Africa?
Outside Africa?
Yes.
Outside Africa, probably 25 then. But
25?
24, 25.
Damn.
I think.
You've seriously traveled. And can you give me at least your top 5 of all the ones you've been to?
So top 5, Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah.
That's South Africa 2.0.
Brazil. That's why that's why it's top 5. Italy.
Okay.
Croatia. Slovakia. I want to say not France. I wouldn't put France in my top 5.
Australia?
I wouldn't put Australia in my top 5 either. I wouldn't put Australia. It was fun, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5. What else would I put in my top 5?
Have you been to the States?
No, I haven't been to the States.
No.
I haven't been to the States. Greece. Yes.
You seriously enjoyed Greece.
I've been there twice, and I can't get enough.
Is it the colorful buildings?
No, well, the food is very fresh. The seafood is very fresh. The weather, I mean, if it's not windy, it's a coast, so it's going to be, windy every now and then. But I've been there in summer. The first time I went in May. The second time I went in June. So the weather perfect. People are always in a good mood, and it's such a nice scene. So I love the buildings. I mean, the architecture is white and blue, which is nice. I like it. I love uniformity.
Oh, it's amazing. Sorry, I've seen it on screen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's super amazing.
So beautiful. But I don't go to the typical islands that everyone goes to. So the nice thing about sailing is you go to like smaller islands. So you get to have a much more authentic experience than going to Mykonos or Santorini and you call it a day. So try to venture out into the smaller islands. So sailing does that very well. So I advocate for sailing any day. I would choose sailing over anything in Greece.
I'm actually a bit disappointed because you didn't mention any of the Scandinavian countries there. I would have assumed you love Switzerland. Switzerland in particular.
I haven't been to Switzerland.
You haven't?
No, I haven't been to Switzerland. I almost went now, but before for these holidays until we decided on a different destination. But we were clocking in and locking into Switzerland, and we wanted to do Switzerland and do Austria. I love Austria as well. I've been to Austria before. We wanted to do then the Alps and start in Switzerland and then go into Austria. But I guess it wasn't meant to be. We decided to go to South America. So
I'm definitely doing Switzerland next year.
I want to do it. So I think next year, December, because I do want a white Christmas. So the idea then is to do that in Switzerland, start in Switzerland. But Switzerland is eye-wateringly expensive.
So it is very expensive. Yeah. Oh my God, I wanted to cry when I was there earlier this year.
So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been. And that's one of the reasons why even now, when I'm planning to go, I'm going there because when I am going next year, December, it will be because I will book with, I think it's the Swiss Air. I'll book with them, then land there, and then take a train. So maybe spend 1 or 2 nights. That's all I can afford. And then take a train out of Switzerland and go into Austria.
Experience.
Yeah. So that's how I want to do it. So I can't plan a trip entirely in Switzerland. I seriously cannot afford it.
Don't you want to go to Denmark and then Sweden and then you vibe back to Austria?
That's all very expensive. All those kind of...
No, but then the further you go, the more affordable they become. Denmark is more affordable than Switzerland, and Sweden is like South Africa. I think the exchange rate is about 123, more or less.
Is it? I didn't know that. So they don't use the euro?
Well, they do use their... Is it a franc?
Franc.
Francs,
yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a franc.
Okay. Swiss francs, not Swiss francs.
Swiss franc. It's actually a Swiss franc. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'll add those. Switzerland, I have no doubt that it will be in my top 5 when I do go. But I can promise you, I will not like the money that I'm going to spend there.
Okay, here's my recommendation: do Switzerland. You go to Denmark. From Denmark to Sweden by train, 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, what I love about Europe, and the reason why people then end up going to so many countries when you're in Europe, because the countries are smaller, so it's very easy to commute from one country to the next and one country to the next. So you can actually do 5 countries in one trip, or 3 countries. The most that I've done is 3 countries in one trip, because it was easy. Train, like an hour train or 3-hour train ride from, I did Austria, Slovakia, and I did Hungary in one trip. So it was an easy ride, and I could have added Czechoslovakia as well. Okay. To that, but that's actually one of my other favorite countries as well.
Slovakia?
No. Slovakia, of course, but Czechia.
Oh, okay.
Czech Republic.
Czech
Republic.
Yeah. I used to say Czech.
Well, you can call it. So that's actually one of my favorite countries as well. Beautiful. There's just so many countries in this, and also the countries are very different. So
but which one has warmer people? I hate Germany because I don't think people there are warm. I have.
I've actually met, yes, I think people that I've met on the streets in Germany when I went, they weren't like very friendly. But once you sit with them, uh, people that I've met while traveling in other countries that were German were quite friendly. So I don't know. But when I was in Germany, I did not also get this warm welcome at all. But when you're meeting Germans outside of Germany, I think it's a different experience.
They are very different outside their country. Even when they're here, you could say, actually, these are human beings and they're very nice.
They're very nice. But in Germany, I will agree with you, I did not particularly enjoy meeting a lot of Germans. So they looked like they were not in a good mood. I think also the weather was bad, so it could be that.
What is bad weather?
It was cold and raining.
But that's beautiful.
Well, it was cold.
That is beautiful.
I'm saying
you want to do White Christmas?
No,
Switzerland snows
I know it's
during
cold.
Christmas.
That's why I chose not to go. I had cold feet
Oh,
this time,
Pumeza.
so I was like, no, I can't. I don't want to go because when I was looking at what the temperatures are going to be, I do want White Christmas, and it will happen next year, 2025 Christmas. That's gonna happen, but now I wanted sunlight.
Okay. Does this mean you wouldn't do Drakensberg?
I've done Drakensberg when it's snowing. My masters were in Lesotho. It was snowing. It was cold. I had to go I went, I think, almost every second month.
Yeah.
And it was cold.
Eddie, was it you who told me that you went to Drakensberg? And you told me about some hotel, a famous hotel. Tennerhead Hotel.
No.
You know it?
No, I didn't.
I still want that Lesotho experience in winter. I've been there,
I've
but
had
in
that.
summer.
I was doing data collection, so you can imagine it wasn't exactly fun. So,
Well, yeah.
because if you're collecting data, you are in the snow the whole day. The whole day. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's windy, and you're in the snow, and the snow sometimes is knee deep. It's not as glamorous.
Oh God! Sorry, I don't envy you.
Yeah, so I did that for my masters, and I can tell you, it put me off. Because I went to Lesotho, I think about 11 times when I was doing my masters, which was a lot. So it sort of put me off, like snow and all of that, because I was very cold, and we used to stay in backpackers, which were not very warm. I had a sleeping bag, but sometimes I would feel like the cold air is creeping through the sleeping bag. I don't know. So I'm not a fan of the cold.
Okay, that's very interesting. I would do anything to be in the coldest region of the world.
Well,
That's how much I
there's a lot of
love
those places
it.
in Russia.
I would go there. And
I've seen some go to minus 50 degrees Celsius.
Oh God, take me there. I'm gonna survive. I'm never gonna look back to South Africa. I promise you.
No, I'm not. I enjoy summer. So if like I enjoy summer. I'm sorry. Winter for me is just not. I don't know. I don't like dressing for winter. I don't like the layers and layers and layers of dressing, and also because it's different in Europe because the houses are built with the knowledge of the weather, I guess, because once you get into any room, it's warm in winter. In South Africa, it's not like that. South Africa, our homes are very cold. So in winter, it's like you have a heater that's right next to you. You're in bed, you have an electric blanket. And a lot of people don't have heated floors. So our homes in winter are generally very cold. Even though sometimes outside it's not as cold, but inside it's very cold. Difference in Europe, inside always warm compared to outside. So you get a very different experience in Europe in winter than you do in South African winter.
Interesting. I would still love to be there. Anyway, I want to come back to South Africa now.
Yes.
I know you travel a lot within the country. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that I get when I look at your content. And it's actually the reason why I asked you to come here. Because it's December now. Our people are going to be looking for places. There's people that do things late. They're going to be looking for places to go to and trying out new things. Where in the country have you not been?
I wasn't expecting that curveball. I haven't been to the West Coast, so I've been to obviously Western Cape, Cape Town. I haven't been to your Paternoster and up there. I haven't been there, and I would love to go.
Okay,
so
where is that? Is it in the Cape as well?
It's in the Cape, but the West Coast. It's further up when you're going close to Namibia.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's too far.
It's too far. I haven't spent time in the Northern Cape. So I haven't been to Kimberley. I see Kimberley was now, the tourism board was doing a lot in Kimberley. I haven't been to Kimberley. So where else have I not been? In terms of provinces, I would say the Northern Cape is I've explored the Northern Cape the least.
Okay. Well, there isn't much to do in Kimberley, really. This year, I've had the privilege of going there 3 times. Other than the big hole and that train, where there's like 1 or 2 restaurants, there's
Yeah.
really nothing.
Oh,
And
there's not much.
when people want fun, they literally just drive to Bloemfontein.
Oh wow, okay.
So there isn't really much to do.
Well, that explains then, I guess, why I haven't really been. I haven't even had the idea to go. I've just been seeing it being advertised quite a lot recently, so I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If maybe I wanted to experience the countryside and the not so fancy things in South Africa, I would definitely go to the Northern Cape. Northern Cape. Otherwise, there isn't really much to explore.
Yeah.
Cape Town, you've done. The Eastern Cape, you do quite a lot.
I love traveling the Eastern Cape. I absolutely,
What makes it so special?
because it's so beautiful and so different. It's so diverse. Our vegetation we have so many biomes in the Eastern Cape, which we have the Karoo, we have, it's just different. Like you're getting it something different wherever you go. So you can be, I love the Tsigama, for example. I love that area. I love how beautiful it's just so scenic, it's so beautiful. And then you leave Tsigama, you can go over the mountains into Bavians's Kloof. It's completely different weather, different terrain. It looks like you're in a different place. Then you go to places like your Graafrenet, and also those places are also quite different.
Eddie and I were talking about Graafrenet yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking about this recording, and I don't know how Graafrenet came to the conversation, and he was just confessing that he has this undying love for Graafrenet, but he's been there once.
I've been there twice.
And then we were arguing about their winter. I was saying it snows quite a lot, and he was saying there's no way it snows in that area. Does it, or does it not?
The mountains around it do snow. I don't know if the town gets snow per se, but I know the mountains around Graafrenet, they do get snow. So areas like New Batista, which is very close to Graafrenet, it gets very cold. And the Snoebeek Mountains, because the Snoebeek Mountains are right basically above Graafrenet, so you get snow there almost. Whenever you see the snow in South Africa, the Snoebeek Mountains are snowing, and they literally close to Graafrenet. So I wouldn't be surprised if they even get some sort of residue snow, if I can put it that way, in Graafrenet in the towns as well.
Okay, so now I know you've got an interview with SABC just now, but you still do have 5 minutes. If I were to ask you to recommend places for me to visit now in January, which places would you recommend in the Eastern Cape, in KZN, in Gauteng, and Mpumalanga?
So Mpumalanga, I'm actually going there in 2 weeks. So you can't go to Mpumalanga and not go to the Kruger National Park. That's a crime. So Mpumalanga has that panoramic route where you get to see your potholes, Blyde River Canyon.
What do you mean potholes?
It's a site called potholes, not potholes on the road. It's a site called potholes. It's beautiful, beautiful site. You see your 3 rondavels, your Blyde River Canyon sighting. You see waterfalls, beautiful. So if you do the panoramic route in Mpumalanga, absolutely brilliant. Go to the Kruger National Park. You can stay in Hazyview. You can stay at Graskop. Wherever you stay, absolutely beautiful. Just make sure you do the entire panoramic route. And then KZN, I want to say northern KZN mostly, because the South Coast it gets very busy around this time. My mom lives in the South Coast and it gets congested. But the northern KZN is so beautiful. Places like your St. Lucia, Kosi Bay, absolutely beautiful. Some of the places look like they're Mozambique because it's the same coast and they're very close to each other. So you get a similar vibe. Absolutely beautiful. They're not explored as much. I think people still need to, travel a bit north in KZN and not confine themselves in Durban. And in the Eastern Cape, Tsitsikama, absolutely beautiful. You can stay in the park at the Tsitsikama Park, I think that is called. Yeah, Garden Route, part of the Garden Route National Park, but it's Tsitsikama area. Absolutely beautiful, brilliant. Stay there. Addo Park is also amazing. There's so many places in the Addo where they have beautiful scenery, where they have the orchards, the oranges, the citrus farms. So if you're staying in a lodge that has a view of the citrus farms, absolutely beautiful. So Addo is a brilliant place to visit. You're close to the park, lots of nice restaurants, lots of accommodation, and also affordable accommodation. And also you stay in mountainous areas, so you always have like beautiful views. Port Alfred, close to Port Alfred, there's also Kenton-on-Sea is also another place that I think a lot of people overlook. Kenton-on-Sea is absolutely beautiful. St. Francis Bay, you have to book early though. St. Francis Bay, it is absolutely gorgeous. Probably one of the most beautiful towns in South Africa, hands down.
Really?
Yes. Beautiful, well planned, absolutely stunning. Houses are white, roofs are black, standard, absolutely gorgeous. But everything gets booked out. If you don't book a house for December in March, you're probably not gonna get a house in December because everything gets booked. People as they check out, they book for the following year. So it gets fully booked almost instantly for December. So that's what I would say. And then the Western Cape. Did you ask the Western Cape?
No.
Gauteng is a bit tricky. But places like from like Lanseria side, just go outside of the city. There's like the farming areas. Those places are really beautiful in Gauteng. So your Magaliesberg is in Gauteng.
It is in Gauteng.
Yes. Your Magaliesberg is just on the side. Magaliesberg is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So you can go to Magaliesberg. Those places. I mean, the Gauteng is a bit tricky for me because I always see it as a working place, like Pretoria and Joburg. It's such a hectic working place. But just go out of the city in Gauteng. That's all you need to do. Just go out of the city and then you'll find places. There's a place called Rosemary Hill Farm, I think. Places people go there. It's in Pretoria. So it's a nice place to escape. So also, again, just outside of the city. Cullinan is a small town.
Why would you go to Cullinan?
It's a small town and it's nice. It's got like cute artsy places. Absolutely lovely.
Whenever I think about Cullinan, I just think of the prison there.
Well, I wasn't thinking about the prison, but yes. So there's that, yeah.
Okay, I see you're looking at your watch now. So I have to release you. I think this has been great. Very brief, but good.
Can do one again next year sometime.
Please. And I would want that to be super detailed because I still have a number of questions around what you're doing. You do promotional work, you do radio, you do quite a number of stuff. I saw as I was preparing that you also have a slot on Metro FM, or used to have a slot on Metro FM.
I still do, yes.
I did not know.
Called On Vacation.
I realized yesterday, so I don't stalk people. I never do. But when I do research, I then find what it is that people do. And I saw that you're actually on Metro FM.
Yes.
My colleague, a person I spent 5 days with a week, actually is on radio, and I didn't know. That's super amazing. But we don't see that on your Instagram, your beautiful Instagram. So when we were preparing with Eddie yesterday, and I gave him your Insta handle, he was like, "This is amazing." It's like he just reached an orgasm of some sort just by merely looking at how you market yourself. He said, "Q, this is what you should be doing." You do
thanks, Eddie.
He will tell you about that when you're done. But yes, man, kudos to you, and thank you so much for joining us. And I guess I can finally say Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Q. Thanks, guys.